In case you've been living in a soundproof room in Earth's deepest cave, in an area completely untouched by mankind, let me fill you in quickly on last year's controversy with No Man's Sky and Hello Games. Essentially, they lied and falsely advertised their game, whether maliciously or otherwise, and deceived a lot of people. The game was hyped out the ass and ended up being an embarrassing disappointment, completely devoid of depth, and the subject of vitriol and mocking. For a couple of months afterwards, they disappeared and said literally nothing. Since then though, they've been actively working on updates and upgrades to the game's world, gameplay and lore. In the last couple of weeks particularly, they've released some updates that have been gaining a lot of compliments and praise. On one hand, that's fair enough. If we view the upgrades in isolation, they look impressive and enticing, and Hello Games deserve to be credited for their work. However, and that is a big fucking however, I'm not ready to let them off the hook just yet, and neither should you be. Listen, I appreciate that they didn't just take the money and run. Many developers have done it in the past, and I have no doubt that plenty will do it in the future. It's a definite plus that they're trying their best to provide the game that their dedicated fans want, and deserve. I don't know anyone on the development team, so I'm not going to pretend that I know their intentions, but the cynic in me believes that they're not improving the game purely for the goodwill of their fans. They need to seriously sort out their public image if they're ever going to sell a game well again, and making No Man's Sky a better game is the quickest and best way to do that. But surely updating the game to make it the game that you fucking showed in trailers and took people's money for is the absolute bare minimum that should be expected of Hello Games. That's the bottom line for me, and it's why I get annoyed when I see the No Man's Sky apologists choking on their nutsack because they released fucking different coloured grass. Those apologists have been far too prevalent since the game came out. I have zero problem with people who are fans of the game, but there are countless individuals who ridicule any criticism of it and will defend Hello Games to the death as if it's their fucking newborn child. The idea is that, while they might have lied, the game is still enjoyable for them. Clearly, if one person enjoys the game, that erases any valid criticisms of it and makes the opinion of everyone else completely irrelevant. Let me use an analogy to show how nonsensical the logic is. Imagine you're buying a house. The person selling the house to you shows you pictures and it looks amazing. It has a huge living room with comfortable furniture, a hot tub out the back, underfloor heating, lots of good stuff. Then you move in and you find out there's no underfloor heating, the hot tub won't heat properly, and the furniture looks nothing like what you saw. Obviously you'd be pissed off. What if, a year later, you still had no underfloor heating? Then your estate agent, let's call him, Sean. First name that comes to mind for some reason, I wonder why. Brings in some purple radiators for you to use. Would you really be willing to let bygones be bygones? No, you wouldn't. So why the fuck is it okay for developers to mislead and sell games that are a shell of what they promised, as long as they're trying to deliver the advertised product long term? That's fucking bullshit. Even if some people might eventually get the game they paid for, the countless people who were fucked over on release and traded in get jack shit. Not to mention there's still absolutely no sign of some of the features they showed, even a year later, so you'd really question whether it was possible in the first place. The best example of this is how they said you'd be able to meet with other players, but it'd be extremely unlikely. My guess is that they were crossing their fingers that two players would never come across each other, as it was literally fucking impossible to do so in the game they've coded. But don't worry, the other day two players finally met with the new update, and they were able to see each other as lovely orbs of light. Thrilling. That's definitely what was advertised. What's your opinion on No Man's Sky? Am I being too harsh? Am I not being harsh enough? I think that's pretty unlikely, but let me know in the comments. I'm looking forward to some great discussion about it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, as always. Thank you for watching, and go play some games.